Hey guys, Surgeon here, and welcome to my blast mining guide. Now for those of you who follow the channel, you know I've been doing blast mining intensively since about 74 mining, and I figured it was about time I made a guide for this. So, as the title does say, you can get about 70k experience an hour and upwards of about 700k GP an hour by doing this method. I'm going to start off by saying that it's a little bit in between like 3-tick granite mining and like motherlode mining, in that you actually make money like motherlode mining, but it's actually pretty click intensive, like 3-tick granite, not as click intensive, but it's kind of a happy medium where you'll get about medium experience but a decent amount of money as well. More experience than motherlode mine, but less experience than, well, obviously 3-tick granite. So without further ado, if you do enjoy the video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more content from the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And let's jump into this by starting to talk about what you actually need to do in order to start doing the blast mine. So the requirements for this method are: you're going to need 100% Lovakinj favor. In order to actually make this efficient, like GP was, you're going to need 75 mining, and the reason for that is because at the blast mine, there's actually a unique feature in that you can actually mine ore that is 10 when you're 10 levels lower than the actual ore. So you can mine runite at 75 mining, whereas normally you would need 85 mining in order to mine this. So in order to unlock runite at the blast mine, you do need 75 mining, and that's where you get a major jump in your GP per hour here, but you can do it at lower levels and it's still relatively good experience. And finally, to get the most amount of experience from this, you will need the prospector outfit. However, you will not need to wear it, and I will get into that in the recommendations. So what do I recommend for this? Well, you're going to need full graceful. And you may be saying, but Surgeon, it's a mining thing. Shouldn't we be wearing full prospector? Blast mining is a little bit different. I'm going to go into this when I actually get into the rotation and how blast mining works. But you really only need the full prospector for when you actually get your big harvest at the end. The entire mining process, the full prospector outfit actually doesn't affect the mining experience that you get from doing the actual mining method. So what's better is to have full graceful on so that you don't have to be using stamina potions in order to make sure you've got full energy. If you wear full graceful, then you're going to be able to, well, not have to use any stamina potions and continue running the entire time, which is greatly going to increase your experience per hour and decrease the amount of GP per hour that you're going to be spending, because you won't have to use stamina pots, obviously. I'd recommend having about 70 HP for this as well, and the reason for that is because if you misclick or you mess up like I do, because who dies at blast mine besides Surgeon, you will need a little bit of HP to give yourself a little buffer zone, because if you mess up, you can take upwards of about 15 damage, and that's at like a relatively high HP level. So giving yourself 70 HP, it's going to give you kind of a buffer in case you mess up, so that way you don't just like insta die. And then finally, another recommendation is if you're going to cast Magic Imbue, which you actually can while doing blast mine, you have to play with the inventory a little bit, but if you're going to do Magic Imbue, obviously you're going to need 83 magic. This does not affect your mining experience at all. This is just for people who want to get a little bit extra magic experience passively while training mining, obviously. Again, like I said, 83 magic will not affect this in any way, shape, or form from a mining or a GP per hour standpoint. Only if you want to get a little bit extra magic experience per hour while doing this. So moving on to what we're actually going to want to wear. Now, like I said before, it is a mining thing, but since, well, the experience doesn't come from when you actually mine anything, you're going to be wanting to reduce your weight as much as possible. So pretty much you're going to want to wear a full graceful, and you're going to want to have your pickaxe equipped. The actual time it takes to mine something isn't affected by the actual pick that you use. So you can use anything from like a rune to a dragon. Obviously, you want to use dragon if you can for the special attack to increase your mining level by 3. But again, that's not really necessary. You can use whatever pickaxe you want. And if you're going to be using Imbue, then you're going to want to have a Tome of Fire equipped with at least one torn page in it. The reason for that is because it's going to act as infinite fire runes. And since your inventory is already going to be limited as it is, you may as well try to save your money by having that, so you don't have to use fire runes in your rune pouch as well. Considering the rune pouch that you're going to have to use water runes anyway, since you won't have a mud staff equipped, as well as your astral runes. So if you are going to be using Magic Imbue, make sure you've got a Tome of Fire on, make sure you have the infinite fire runes, and on top of that, make sure you have a Xerix talisman so you have a quick teleport in case you end up dying like me, and that way you can just right click teleport to the Inferno and run north to get here. Moving on to what you have in your inventory, you're obviously going to want to have a stack of noted dynamite in your inventory. The reason for this is that it makes banking much quicker. Because there's a bank chest here, you can use the noted dynamite on the bank chest, click one, and then withdraw a full inventory of dynamite. It makes banking much quicker than having to go in there and actually find it. You need a chisel and a tinderbox in there to actually light and excavate the caverns for the dynamite. And then if you are using Imbue, then you want to have a rune pouch with water runes and astral runes in there. And that's so you can save the inventory space by making sure that you have a full inventory of 24 dynamite, which is what should be in the remaining parts of your inventory. The reason that you want 24 is because each rotation of blast mining does take 6 dynamite, and obviously, well, 24 divided by 6 is 4, so it gives you 4 full inventories, or 4 full rotations, before you have to go and withdraw more dynamite from the bank chest. Before I talk about what to do when you get there, how do we get there? That's a pretty good question, and I should probably answer that. So, what we're going to do first, and is the best way to use it, so if you can't use this, there's really no other way. Get a Xerix Talisman, teleport to, I believe it's the third option, which is Xerix Inferno. Teleport there and run straight north, and you'll run right into the blast mine. You cannot miss it. It's right there. If you don't have a Xerix Talisman for whatever reason, then you can run from the boat, run all the way past the main statue, past the main center of Karen, run west all the way there till you hit Loverkinge, and then make your way towards the center of the Loverkinge house, and then you'll make your way to the furnace, the big furnace in the middle, and then run north from there. I don't really recommend this. It takes a long time to run from the boat, but if you don't have a Xerix Talisman, well, then I guess this is the only way you're really going to get there. So, yeah, get a Xerix Talisman. It saves you a lot more time. So now what most of you are probably wondering, and that's how do we actually do blast mining? Well, as you can see on the screen right now, there's a picture, and there's 7 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, cool. You can count. Congratulations. Basically, the normal rotation is going to go like this. You're going to mine numbers 1 and 2, and then you're going to load both of them up with dynamite. Once they've both been loaded up with dynamite, light each one of them, and then run to number 3. Now, for numbers 3 through 6, you're basically just going to mine them, put dynamite in them, and then light them. And you're going to do them in order. So you're going to do number 3, mine it, dynamite it, light it, run to number 4, mine it, dynamite it, light it, run to number 5, mine it, dynamite it, light it, run to number 6. Now 6 is where it gets a little bit different. So you're going to do basically what you did for the last one. So mine it, dynamite it, and then right after you light it, run to number 4, pick up the blasted ore from there, run to number 3, pick that one up, pick up 5, and then after you pick up 5, number 6 should basically explode so you don't get hit by it, and then run over to 6, pick that one up, pick up number 2 and 1, and then run them over to number 7, which is the sack, and put it in there so that way you can actually harvest your ore. Now, the reason that you have to do this in such a unique order is because if you're within 2 squares of the dynamite when it blows up, you will take, like I said, up to 15 damage, which is quite a lot, and you don't want to be taking that consistently. So that's why the order is the way it is. Also, something else to note, blasted ore disappears in about, I think it's a minute and a half or a minute while being on the ground. So that's why you have to be very careful and very quick about picking it up, and you really can't stop clicking when you do this, because if you wait, the blasted ore will actually disintegrate and you won't be able to actually harvest it. So that is the basic rotation. The only thing that's different when you do this like in a full inventory is the first rotation's a little bit different, but your other 3 rotations are just like what I have up on the screen. So now up on the screen is a full rotation or a full inventory, basically all 4 inventories that you're going to do. And like I said, the only one that's different than what I just went over is the first one. Now, if you look on that picture before, there's one number that's not marked, and it's right in between basically numbers 6 and number 3. And on your first rotation, you're going to start off with that one. Then you're going to run over to the far right column on the north side wall, and then you're going to go through numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6 like normal. And you're basically going to pick them up just like you did before. Instead of going to number 4 to pick up the blasted ore, you're going to go to the one in between 6 and 3, and then walk down the line south, picking up each one, and you'll see this on the screen, me doing it. Again, it's a little bit different. The only reason that you do it this way on your first inventory is because it makes sense to run to this one first, because it's closer to you, and you're spending extra time running to the far north wall to start on wall number 1 and 2, when you could just start on the middle wall, run over to the north wall, then run back and do it as normal. So that's the only one that's different. Other than that, it's basically just 3 rotations of doing the same thing that I just went over. So I'm going to speed this clip up and put some music in the background, and you guys get to see what a full inventory looks like. You also get to see when I imbue. So a note about that is when you imbue, if you do it while running, it shouldn't interrupt any ticks or anything. If you do it and it's really close to like the next action you're going to do, it could interrupt maybe 1 or 2 ticks. So if you're really kind of, stingy about your XP, you may not want to do it that close. You may want to save it for the long runs. But other than that, imbue shouldn't really affect anything. And also your dragon pickaxe spec, you can do it while mining something, and it will trigger the effect as soon as you finish mining. So you don't have to worry about doing it in between actions like you do with imbue. You can literally start mining, click the special attack, and it will automatically do the special attack as soon as you finish. So like Motherlode Mine, the rewards for this, or the XP and GP rewards, vary based on your level. So I'm going to give you a couple milestone levels so that way you can see or kind of expect what you would get if you didn't miss any ticks and you were pretty spot on at like basically max efficiency. So at level 70 you can expect about 48k experience an hour and about 49k GP an hour. At level 80 you can expect about a 10k increase in experience, so 58k XP an hour and 497k GP per hour. Remember that the huge spike in this is due to the fact that you unlock Runite at level 75, and when you mine Runite that increases the GP per hour greatly. Basically you got 10 times more money at level 80 than you did at level 70. At level 90, you can expect about 64.5k experience an hour with about 619k GP an hour. And finally, if you're doing this post 99, you can expect pretty close to about 700k or 70k experience an hour and a little over 700k GP an hour, about 733k GP an hour. That's a tongue twister. But that's what you can expect. There's no other really rewards like Motherlode Mining, how you get nuggets. It's really just GP and XP. But to be honest, like for the amount of click intensity that you're doing and the amount of experience you're getting, this is probably one of the best hybrid mining methods in that it's pretty click intensive, but it gives you a relatively good amount of experience for it, as well as, 730k GP an hour. That's pretty respectable, especially for like a gathering skill nowadays. Alright guys, with all that being said, that's going to do it for our blast mining guide. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Again, blast mining is what I've been doing since about 73 mining. It's just a really enjoyable mining method in general if you don't want just hardcore AFK at Motherlode Mine and you want to actually get some GP instead of having to do power mining iron or power mining granite. It's kind of a nice hybrid in between. I really enjoy it. Plus it's where I got and lost my golem pet, so yeah, that's pretty funny. We can all laugh at me about actually dying at blast mining and not insuring my pet and losing that, but whatever, we're not really salty about that. So if you guys did enjoy the video, hopefully you did, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more content from the channel, more guides, whatever, I do enjoy making these kind of videos. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you want to leave me feedback or troll me, because that's what the comment section is for, go ahead and do it there. Links to social media will be in the description, so links to my CC, my Discord, Twitter, and Twitch will all be in the description as well. Other than that, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So have a good night, morning, evening, whatever time of day it is, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.